All right. I'm not sure where we left off at, but here's Thursday. Again, got all the gears right here. And I got it upside down like I said I'm going to. What I'm going to do is take off the timing chain and see can we put the new crank on it and see what the other bearings and such look like. We're not going to reuse the bearings since we got all the new ones in that box like I have mentioned. Alright, y'all stay tuned and see can we get this down. Alright, here it is. Got the crank off. Got the timing chain. Unless you want to go fishing for your chain, I'll suggest to hang it up somewhere. And evidently I found two of these. I don't remember that he told me first gen or second gen, but they both look the same. Haven't got that far yet. But I did plug it up with a bolt. I had a bag of them. There it is. These are the size you need if you want to do that delete. M8 by 125, 12. I'm going to put some silicone on it just to make sure it doesn't leak because you're going to have some pressure out of there. Anyways, here, this is the chart. I'm going to post a chart of what we have as well. You know, Google search and such. For example, if your block is AA, BBA, and then your crank is BA, AAB, you're going to need black, green, brown, brown, brown bearings. Now in our case, the block I have is AB, BBB. The crank is BB, ABA. It's going to be black, brown, black, brown, black. And you go by the crank. You got your B code and your A code. And you correspond with, you know, A to B, yellow. But it's going to have different numbers as well. On your connecting rods, let me get a better one. See here, you could imagine that's a 2. All right. So your connecting rods, there'll be a 2. And then if you go back to your crank, you look for the pin number. It's going to be a B, of course. And then you're going to look for 1, 2, or 3 on the crank. You know, it's an inline 4, so you're going to look for 4 numbers. See, these are the bearing codes for the mains, and these are for the rods. So we're looking at 2233, and the crank we're using is a 3222. So you go back, and saying 22 connecting rod to your crank is going to be a brown bearing, or it's going to be, you know, number 2, for sure number 2, because I'll show you number 2 on connecting rods, and depending on the numbers on the crank. So crank will be a brown or a yellow. And my outside diameters of the crank journal is going to be 1.573, and the outside diameter for the rod is going to be 1.494. So the way I measure mine is going to be yellow and the rest brown. But if you go on forums and such, everybody said they always use black bearings. I guess you can get away with that. I'm not sure. But I do have, the bearing's going to have a color on it as well. See, can we focus on it? Come on, phone. Maybe I'll put it on the floor. Okay. See how it's a black color right there in the center of it? That's not a Sharpie. Well, it might be a Sharpie, I don't know. But the manufacturers, that's what they put on it. So that's your black bearing. And you can tell that's a yellow bearing. So I'm going to put black and yellows in here like what the engine called for. But it's time for me to go to work. I got this much done. There's actually more tedious stuff to do. You can't just slap this together. I mean, you can, but it is what it is. I'm looking for my caliber now. Wow. Oh, okay. There it is the whole time. Everybody's like, it's right there. Yeah, I found it. All right. So, make sure you zero out your caliber. zero it out. So now you're good. So you got your yellow bearing. And we measure about the center of it, and that's going to be, oopsie. Give it a little wiggle. You don't see kind of twitch. So we're looking at 56, 57 on the yellows. And the chart I'm going to post is going to actually show the diameters of it, the clearance and such. So we're looking at 57 on the yellows. And that's going to be your rods, because it's a solid bearing. And then your main's going to look like this, got holes in them. So there it is. That's how you select your bearings for a first gen busa. Every engine you build is going to have a chart of some sort. So yeah, all this just goes in my mind. I don't have to write the stuff down anymore. If it's a customer stuff, I do it legit. If it's my stuff, you can see what I do with my stuff. I just don't care about my stuff too much. Hell. Anyways, I'm going to LS swap it, so whatever. The engine harness been shipped out. The guy supposed to be receiving that harness tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to try to get this booster running. Like I said, hopefully by this weekend. Today, what's today? Thursday. So tomorrow, you're going to get back on it. Put the crank on it. Put it back on time. Slap everything back together. And hopefully I can get this going. At least by Saturday morning. Cranking it up. Alright, y'all stay tuned.